You all need to stop hating on the 2DS. I'm the NerdyGamerNerd, and I'm here to tell you why you should stop hating on the 2DS and why it is actually a great console in terms of price particularly. Let's take a look at the 3DS. Okay, the 3DS is obviously it's a better version of the DS with 3D, zero backwards compatibility, only works with 3DS games, but nevertheless is a good console. They did create an XL version due to the fact that it was too small, and they also had to create the joysticks for it. But all around, the 3DS is a good console with a good set of games. No one can argue that. And it's a good portable console. But it doesn't fit in your pocket. It would never fit in your pocket. It wouldn't fit lengthways even if you fold it, and it's not gonna fit. It doesn't fit no matter which way you put it. It's not gonna fit in your pocket. If it does, half of it's gonna be sticking out. That's dumb. And even then, most people, smart people, would pay the extra $20, I believe it is, for the XL version because it's much bigger. And that doesn't mean better, but in terms of a portable console, so you can see and actually use the console, you're gonna need the bigger version. Particularly me, I have pretty large hands. I need that bigger version because I can pretty much just engulf a 3DS, and it's not good. Now compare the 2DS to the 3DS. What's the difference? It's a slate. It doesn't fold. It doesn't have 3D. It actually has backwards compatibility. That's it. Oh wait, it's cheaper. Somebody took, and by somebody I mean Nintendo, they took the 3DS, took away 3D, which is good, because 3D is a stupid gimmick that needs to die already. On top of that, most people probably don't use the 3D on a 3DS. I can't think of any reason why you would want to. 3D is dumb. And on top of that, I do believe there's been reported cases of eye strain from 3DS, or just people saying the 3DS hurts my eyes. Nothing particularly medically serious about it, but it puts strain on the eyes. It's not that good. So they took out the dumb 3D gimmick. Then they made it a slate. As far as I'm aware, it is the same size as the XL. It also has one big screen with a plastic layer on the top. It's all one big touchscreen with a plastic layer on the top that stops you from being able to interact with the top screen. Plus, I believe that there would be no interaction from the top screen anyway, because as far as I'm aware, it's button based on how you do things. So yeah, but it might be incorporated for something, but they also made it so it can't fold. Some people don't like this choice. Some people say it's an ugly aesthetic, and you know, I can see why they might think that. But this is a console for kids. It is designed to be safety proof for kids. The edges are designed so that kids don't, well, first of all, jab their eyes out technically, and second of all, don't break it. There's no hinges to be broken either. It is actually designed better so that it doesn't break. It's also cheaper by, I think, $50, if I remember correctly, because it comes out for $120, $130, and the 3DS right now is at $170, $180, if I'm correct, and I believe so. So you're looking at a $50 price reduction. That's a good amount of money. In fact, That's enough to buy the game it releases on the date with, Pokemon X and Y. Clearly the 2DS is created for kids to purchase a budget version of a 3DS so they can play this new Pokemon game. That is obvious, and that's not a bad thing. The 2DS is a good... It's not just a kid's console though, because what you have to remember is it took away the pointlessness, or well, it took away the bad parts of the 3DS, particularly the 3D, which kind of argues the case that the 3DS is pointless within itself, and that's not really true, because the 3D is useful for some games, but not really though. It's not really worth it. I can't think of many people who would sit there and be like, oh yeah, I'm mad because the 3D's gone. I use 3D all the time. Nobody uses 3D all the time. Why would you use 3D all the time? 3D sucks. Can we just get rid of 3D already, please? Just let it die. Anyway, so it took away the bad parts. That includes no backwards compatibility. The 2DS can play all the 3DS games and thousands of backwards compatibility normal DS games, and it said thousands, not all of them, but you know that it'll play the majority of them, the ones that are important, the ones that people definitely own. And basically, to me, the way I look at it, the 2DS is actually better than a 3DS flat out. The only arguable sense is that people could say, well, it's not as large as the XL, which I don't remember any. There was no scale of anything that I remember saying that it is or it isn't. So that isn't really an argument yet. But that is the only argument that I could ever see anybody making. There's nothing wrong with the 2DS. Say what you want about Nintendo's market practice or whatever on the fact that the Wii U hasn't been selling well and the 3DS hadn't sold well on its initial release, and you know, if you want to bash on Nintendo, yeah, fine, whatever, but just remember, a company can only take so much bashing, and on top of that, Nintendo's a family company that's been in the game making business for as long as a lot of people can remember. I mean, they've made some of the greatest games in, first of all, technical terms back in the day, to now just some of the biggest franchises ever, just simply because of not even just how family based they were, but because of how they were the first ones. Now, of course, Mario wasn't the first game ever, if you want to be accurate about it. Space Wars was, or Pong, but that's not what I'm trying to make the point of that Nintendo's a long, deep-rooted history in the gaming together. And if you keep saying Nintendo's consoles suck and they're coming out with bad ideas and we don't buy the consoles, soon there'll be no Nintendo left, and then we'll all be upset. Remember that the Wii, everyone says that they don't need a Wii U because it's got no games, but I would buy a Wii U just because I assume that there'll be games eventually, and I know that there is now, and there are games coming. For example, the only reason I need a Wii U is for Super Smash Bros. And quite frankly, anybody could say, well, that's a dumb idea to waste your money on a Wii U, but you need to shut the hell up, because Super Smash Bros. Is freaking awesome, and everybody knows that. That is a fact. I don't think anybody could argue that game is bad. Maybe in technical terms somebody could have an argument about it, but nobody is gonna just go, oh, the game's bad. Everybody loves that fucking game, and that is one reason why everybody should own a goddamn Wii U. Same for 3DS. There's plenty of good games coming out. Pokemon X and Y for starts. The Euro Luigi setup has been going great as far as I'm aware for games. The games that they release are pretty damn good, including Luigi's Mansion 2. And maybe buying a console for one or two games seems dumb, but that's pretty much all of Nintendo's consoles anyway, so I don't want to hear people crying about it. Now, as much as I feel like that's a little bit off topic with the whole Nintendo thing, I feel like it's important for everybody to remember that we don't want to let Nintendo die with the fact that people keep saying they're making bad decisions. The 2DS is not a bad decision. It's a smart move. It's probably the way they're trying to stay in the game in the money business, and I almost fucked up the word there. Trying to stay in the game with the money business, because obviously they're not doing so great. And it's a little bit sad, but yeah. So please don't hate on the 2DS. It's a budget version of a 3DS, takes out the 3D, allows backwards compatibility. How can you hate this thing? Because it looks bad, it's safety proof to kids, and the fact of the matter is, the only part that's missing is its fold. It's even got the slant slate design, so that if you're playing with it freaking on it, you can play with it on a table first of all, and it would work fine due to the fact that it's not flat, it's actually slanted. But of course you're not going to play it on a table. But even then, it's no different. Okay, it might take a few minutes to get the feel back because there's no bend joint, but you don't need the bend joint. And I do believe they're taking the triggers out, actually, unless the triggers are the reinforced parts at the top. Which could, yes, that could get a little awkward because you're mainly using the top screen than the bottom. But it's announced. There's still things they could change. I mean, sure, it's built, but there's still one or two things you could change. They're not shipping them out yet. They're still not shipping them out for a while. I mean, we've got till October 12th, so you know. But we'll see. This is the first news we've got of it, just announced. But yeah, this video was really just quick, even though it's 12 minutes long. It was quick, just me saying, come on, just don't hit on it. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. You're saving $50 on a 3DS. Loads of people are gonna want 3DSs nowadays because of X and Y for Pokemon, and who could blame you? I know I want one. I was planning on getting an XL. I heard about this. I'm probably gonna get a 2DS now. And yes, 2DS is kind of a dumb thing to call it, but it goes with the theme, so why not, right? Anyway, I'll wrap this up now. So to just end the final point, just when you think about all the reasons why you could, alright, maybe it's me, maybe I can't think of any reasons it sucks. So here's what I'm gonna do. You think you know a reason why the 2DS is bad? You leave a comment, and I'll get back to you, and I'll read it. I'll take it into consideration. I'll do a little bit of extra research just in case, and I'll come back to you, and we can have a bit of a discussion. We'll have some back and forth. And if you've got a reason why it might be good, you can leave that in the comments too. Maybe I missed something out why it's good. People need to stop crapping on this thing. I don't think as many people are crapping on it as I might think, but I've seen people just getting mad about it and like, oh, it's so stupid, Nintendo, what are you doing? And just, you know, just let them be, okay? This is definitely better than a 3DS, just in terms of budget, and I'm just gonna keep going over and over again over the points that I've said. So yeah, if you have a reason it sucks, leave it in the comments, I'll get back. If you have a reason it's great that I missed out, leave it in the comments, I'll get back. But yeah, and I'll do my best to get back to every comment. In fact, I should be able to get back to every comment, whether there's 2, 5, or fucking 20,000, but Lord knows there's not gonna be 20,000. Here's hoping. Anyway guys, I've been the Nerdy Gamer Nerd. Thanks for listening.